Hi everyone, it's your host Favor John and welcome back to another episode of Favor Will Speak. Today I'll be talking about self-love and I'm currently in my pajamas, so I guess that fits the theme. But it's actually 4 a.m. right now as I'm filming this as well. Self-love is so important. In the Bible, God talks about love so many times. Love your neighbor and everything. But how can you love your neighbor if you don't even love yourself? You need to love yourself first. You need to pour into your own cup first before you can love another person. In everyone's life, at least like maybe one time, they've had an identity crisis, meaning they don't know who they are. Their self-concept is not strong enough. It makes it so easy for other people to manipulate them and for other people's concepts of them to become their self-concept. When really and truly, you should be the creator of your self-concept. You should never let it be a thing where somebody else tells you who they think you are and then you start seeing yourself that way. You should know who you are. And the only way you can know who you are is if you build your empire brick by brick. When I say brick by brick, we need to start on the foundation. Meaning, what are your morals? You need to know your morals, what you stand and what you don't stand for, your boundary. And then once you've established that, you then establish who you want around you in your circle. You know, people that support you and love you, because you can't say you love yourself if you have people around you that hate you and you tolerate people around you that hate you and that have negative self-concept of you. If you don't have a strong enough self-concept, it will only lead you to be manipulated in life and you will have an identity crisis because your identity will be firmly built on what other people think about you, other people's opinions about you. And I had this teacher in sixth form, Miss Davies, shout out to Miss Davies, yeah. She told me one time that people will always talk. I went to her crying about what some girls were saying about me. She said, "You didn't even comfort me." She was just like, "Favor, people are always going to talk. People are always going to have opinions." And I never really understood what she meant. You know, she never comforted me. It was just, she was very realistic with me. I was the first ever diversity prefect within my sixth form. And with that came a lot of challenges. With that came a lot of responsibilities. And it was a thing where I was the first person to ever do their first culture day. And a lot of people were talking. A lot of people were saying, "It's not going to work. It's not going to be this. It's not going to be this. The script is looking bad." Da, 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 da. And there was a lot of pressure on me. She was like, "Favor, people are always going to talk." When you're in the spotlight, when your light shines so bright, people will always talk. But you have to have a strong enough self-concept that when people are talking, it doesn't shake you because you know who you are. You know what you bring to the table and you cannot be shaken. And I feel like this is something that I've learned over time because when Miss Davies told me this, I didn't understand it, but now I do. Now I understand that people always talk. It's human nature. People always have opinions. If you're doing good, they'll try to find the bad in the good that you're doing. If you're doing bad, they'll be satisfied as well. People just want to talk. That's human nature. People talk. But what is really important, especially as a Christian, is to have a strong enough self-concept. If not, you're cooked. You're genuinely cooked. You'll be listening to what other people say about you, and it probably won't be the nicest things, to be honest. Even in the Bible, in James 1:8, it says that a double-minded man is unstable in all of his ways. If you're taking all of these opinions from all these people, you're going to be double-minded. You're not going to know who you are. You're going to be unstable in all your ways. So it's a thing where you should build your identity firmly on what Christ says you are. And he says nothing but good things about you. He says you are loved, you're chosen, and that you're his. So let's just learn to build our identity on who God says we are and who we believe we are as well. Also, when you don't have a strong self-concept, it leads to timidity. It leads to vulnerability. In 2 Timothy 1:7, it says that the spirit that God has given us is not a spirit of timidity, but it's a spirit of power, love, and self-discipline. So if you know you bear the spirit of God within you, you should know that that spirit of fear does not belong to God. And in fact, in Ephesians 6:12, it says that for the battle that we fight against is not against flesh, but it's against principalities and powers. Fear is not physical, it's a spiritual thing. And it's the spirit that should be within you is power. People can smell aura. People can smell energy. Like people can smell aura, people can smell energy. So if your energy is given shy, is given fear, people can sense it. Whereas if your energy is given power, is given confidence, people can sense that as well. You have more opportunities to be seen. You have more opportunities to shine, just as long as you have that spirit of power within you, which is what God says that you should have in you. Because we are all made in his image, you know? And if we're all made in his image, we should have that power within us. I love analogies like If you're a frequent viewer or person that knows me, you guys would know that I love analogies. But yeah, there is an analogy that someone once told me, and that is an analogy that points towards, let's say someone comes into your house and you bring them inside. Everywhere is clean, everywhere is spotless. There's this one cupboard or there's this one wardrobe that is just that you just chucked everything into that wardrobe or that cupboard. And you can be like, oh yeah, you can touch everything, but just not that. Just don't go there, don't go there. Because you know that place is messy. Be to God like he's your friend. Like if you're struggling with anything that you find shameful, talk to God about it. He's the one person that's not going to snake on you. But God's the one person that will keep your secret, and he will also clean that cupboard with you or even for you. He'll clean that cupboard for you. And you don't need to be ashamed to bring it before him. And a lot of the time I used to think like, oh no, I'm too scared to bring this before God. But God knows. There's nothing you can hide from God. He knows everything. It's crazy that people think they can hide away from God when he really sees everything. And there's a thing where he's here to help. He's here to guide. He's here to protect. What better way to build your identity, have a stronger self-concept than bring it to the creator? Tell him what you're struggling with. Tell him what you want to be. And he'll help you. He'll help you create that space in that room for you. You shouldn't be seeing yourself as inferior. And it's so important to work on the interior as well as the exterior. You can look nice on the outside, you can look fly on the outside, but if the mindset is not it, people are going to smell that. People sense aura, guys. Like, people sense energy. If you're operating from low vibration, people will smell that, people will sense that. So it's very important that we take the time to ourselves and we actually dive deeper into who we are. Me, I get to notebook and pen. As you can see, I get to notebook and pen, and I'd be writing down things I like about myself, things I don't like about myself. I take it to God in prayer, and it's been 6 months, but my self-concept is so much stronger than where it was 6 months ago. And I can only praise God for that, because my identity used to be built on what other people said about me, used to be built on what I thought other people thought about me, how I was supposed to present myself as, especially going into uni as well. Like, I just didn't really know what to expect. I genuinely had an identity crisis. You should be the one that tells people how you run this show. You know, you should never give your power to people. And just to end off, I think this is the last thing I'm going to say. In 2026, one thing we need to stop is people pleasing. We need to start saying no. There's so much power in saying the word no. Like, genuinely, I used to be so scared to tell people no. But saying no is a very powerful thing. Saying no is actually self-love, because it means that you have a strong enough self-concept. And it means you know what you will not and what you will stand for. But all of this can only happen once you know who you are, once you have a strong concept of self. You may not even know that you have an identity crisis, and you just people please. Like, you will only understand that it's people pleasing and that you don't really know who you are once you get to notebook and pen. So I'd advise everyone to get to notebook and pen tonight, even if it's just one person that watched the video today. I want you to take that self-love is so important, and to have self-love, you have to spend time with yourself. You need to go on solo dates. You need to get to notebook and pen. You need to just be comfortable rediscovering hobbies that you used to enjoy, hobbies that you may now enjoy, and just understanding who you are as a person. If someone's asked me who I am now, I'll be so confident to tell them who I am, because I know who I am. Firstly, I'm a child of God. Secondly, I'm a self-published author. I'm a podcaster. And I'm a law student, a law and politics student. And yeah, like, I know who I am. I know what I stand for and what I don't stand for. Obviously, I can't say all of them because the video will be too long. Self-love is a thing that we're constantly learning as we go through life. And I just pray that on your journey through life, that you find out the best way to love yourself. That's it for tonight. It was actually lovely filming this video. And I just hope that even if it's just one person that watches this, you learn how to love yourself better. Because love is the most powerful thing in this world. That was like the biggest commandment God gave us, to love one another. And how can we love one another if we don't know how to love ourselves? So let's just start there. Start with loving yourself. Even if it's little things that you do for yourself, like making yourself tea in the morning, getting up extra early, or just to read your Bible, or to go on a walk, or like just little things. The little things matter. So yeah, I hope you find little ways in which you can practice self-love and love yourself more, so you can love other people. and so that you don't accept a love that's less than what you deserve. Because if you don't have self-love, you tend to, accept any kind of love from any kind of person, and that's not healthy. Self-love is a first step to making love spread around the world, positivity spread around the world. You can't really spread positivity if you don't love yourself. So yeah, let's start there. Let's start with loving ourselves and then spreading that love towards other people as well. I think that is it for tonight. But yeah, what Miss Davies told me, it really stuck by me to this day. People always talk, but your self-concept just has to be strong enough. Shout out to Miss Davies. And that's it for tonight. I hope you guys enjoyed the episode. See you next time on Favour Will Speak.